Now let's go over marketing research for the new venture. It's important to conduct marketing research prior to making marketing decisions. It's also worth stating that marketing research should be a supplement to, not a replacement for, the intuitive judgment of the entrepreneur. Marketing research involves gathering, processing, reporting, and interpreting market information. Small firms typically conduct less marketing research than large firms, mostly because of expense and lack of knowledge about the process. When doing marketing research, it's important to remember that there are a lot of outside sources available. You may find it helpful to hire professional marketing researchers who can gather the information you need. But you have to consider the cost-benefit trade-offs of marketing research. Obviously, the internet is an excellent resource to collect marketing research data. It's also a very cost-effective way to distribute web-based surveys and get results from online focus groups. There are 4 basic steps in the process for collecting data. The first is identifying the informational need. Basically, what do you need to know? Step 2 involves searching for secondary data. You need to find out who has already researched this topic. Secondary data is far cheaper than primary data, so exhaust these resources first. Help for finding secondary data can be found through libraries, the SBA, and online databases. Remember, however, that there are problems that accompany the use of secondary data. For example, information can be dated, they could use the wrong units of measure that would be effective for you, and they can lack credibility. When thinking about primary data, you have to know who you should ask and what do you ask them. There are 2 basic observational methods. They include human and mechanical. Both methods can be useful in collecting data, and both have their strengths and weaknesses. When an entrepreneur chooses one over the other, they have to be sure they're getting accurate information that they can use. Most small business owners tend to place a high value on personal observation because it can provide them with insights that raw data sometimes cannot. Being able to watch how a group reacts to a product can be incredibly useful in guiding an entrepreneur's decisions. Surveys are used more often than experimentation, mainly because they're cheaper and faster. You can also get a lot of information from a far greater number of people through surveys, whether they're conducted online, through the mail, phone, or personal interviews. To develop an effective questionnaire, ask questions that are related to the issue under consideration. Be sure to use open-ended and multiple-choice questions. Select the form of question that is most appropriate for the subject and the conditions of the survey. Also, carefully consider the order of the questions. Ask more sensitive questions near the end of the questionnaire. Carefully select the words for each question. Word questions as simply, clearly, and objectively as possible. And pre-test the questionnaire on a small representative sample of respondents first. You've reached the end of Part 2 for Chapter 7. You're now ready to view Part 3 for this chapter.